Hello, everyone. It's episode 62 of the General Damage Podcast.
What's up, y'all?
How's it going?
I'm Nick.
I'm Will.
And I'm Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we sound a little more tired than we are, kind of recording at a bit of a later time than usual, Shane's
That's a company secret. We are recording in the middle of the day. No one knows anything.
Oh my god, calm down. Shane got a new job, so we've kind of shimmied around her schedule. So yeah, I'm gonna apologize in advance if I sound tired. I'm feeling drained this week. My last day for my current job is ending tomorrow, which will be Thursday, June 1st.
Sweet salvation.
Oh my god, little like poppers going off over here in my world, and I'm happy. Yeah. God.
Speaking of times, I mean, we could be recording 4 a.m. in London.
Dude, we could. We could. Though I think out of everybody, I'm the only one still up about 4 a.m.
Yeah, I can't be up at 4 a.m.
I know.
I have to be somewhere at 8:15 tomorrow.
Yeah, I totally feel you, mate.
I don't want to do this anymore. We want to talk about news, and there's news, but it also feels like there's a slow bit of news.
Yeah,
and most of that's because of E3 coming up.
It's been a pretty chill week.
Yeah, it's been pretty light. There are very few things that have popped up for me on my radar.
Asterisk to that, it's been very few on news and movies.
Yeah.
Because the other news app that I have on my phone blows up every fucking day. And every fucking day I look at that thing going, oh, God.
That's never good.
Yeah, well, what do you expect with this president?
Oh, God. Dude, I won't even look at that shit half the time anymore. Unless it's
my news app goes off and I sigh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's depressing.
Yeah, it's very depressing. But yeah, it's been, as far as the nerdom goes with games and movies and other shit like that, it's been slow.
Yeah.
There's some controversy happening. There's some other stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
Since if we're not gonna BS like we usually do, we could. But I really don't fucking care.
We don't do anything by the book.
Well, it goes. It works.
It's not a book that I'm looking at. It's a tablet, and like an ancient tablet, one with paper. This is the paper sound.
Whoa.
That didn't register on my sound.
Nick, when I did the editing, I can't preserve that no matter how hard I try.
It didn't preserve the sound, so fuck it.
Mine's a notepad, so I feel you.
Yeah, mine's just a notepad.
I use an actual tablet.
Oh, fuck off.
Ooh, aren't we fancy?
I have my Kindle right here, but I don't use it for that. I use it to play Stardew Valley and read the wiki and find out what the fuck to do.
Those are all acceptable things for a Kindle.
Yeah. Something I wanted to get into. So, Zack Snyder, who's made two of my favorite movies, 300 and Sin City, though I can't watch Sin City ever again.
Okay.
No, wasn't that? He didn't do that. That was Robert Rodriguez. Yeah, so he's made 300, and he did Dawn of the Dead, which I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
So he's made one of my favorite movies, 300.
Yeah.
And I didn't like Sin City. I watched it recently, and I stopped watching it just because, I don't know, it didn't feel the same, I guess.
Fair.
Yeah, so whatever. Kind of like you don't want to watch old childhood shows, no matter what people think about. They won't be good. We'll get to an old childhood show, maybe. But he's stepping down, Zack Snyder is stepping down from the Justice League movies and DC in general, and I think actually movie making for a good while.
Oh, is he just feeling burnt?
No. It's actually pretty... everyone can, they hear this news, the people are going, yeah, because he's ruining it. Yes and no. No, he's stepping down because back in... earlier this year, I want to say... I forgot. I saw the news about it, and I think it was maybe April or March.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter committed suicide.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Fucking shit. That's a good reason to step away. from what you're doing. Shit.
Yeah. He decided it happened. He took time off to deal with it, to deal with it. And then he thought of, like, just throwing himself back onto work, thinking it'd be cathartic.
Yeah.
But those types of movies are really hectic, and there's a lot going on, and all that stuff. So he figured he has to step down. And his wife, who's also in the movie business, I think she's a producer on Justice League, and I think she's a producer on Batman vs. Superman. Deborah Snyder, I think that's her name. I can't look it up at the moment.
Yeah.
She's also stepping down with him as well.
I mean, I think that's smart for them. Like,
yeah.
You know, it like, as much as you can throw yourself kind of into your work to kind of help cope with a something severe like that, there's a point where you do, like, as much as you feel you have dealt with it or taken care of it, I mean, there's still a lot of baggage behind it. There's still a lot of emotions that are raw, and I'm happy that they're kind of stepping away to take care of something like that. It's pretty devastating on anybody.
Yeah, and my thought is, like, I don't think Zack Snyder ruined Justice League or the Batman v Superman movies.
Yeah.
I just didn't like his style that he was going with. I don't like a moody Superman.
I liked he did the first set of Batman movies, correct? The one with what's his face?
That was Christopher Nolan.
Was it Nolan? Okay.
Yeah, that's the Nolan Batman trilogy.
Right. I do like him for 300. 300 is definitely one of my favorite movies, and I got to see with my mom, and that was, like, fucking awesome.
Yeah, 300 was good. Sucker Punch was good in a cinematic way. I
like Sucker Punch for, like, multiple reasons, so, like, one kind of sits as a guilty pleasure.
I'm actually not a fan of Sucker Punch, but I will admit it is cool to look at.
Yeah,
it's very cool to look at. And there's 1,000 things they could have done different to make it 10 times better, but they didn't. So yeah, and
he did Watchmen as well.
I was actually about to bring that up.
Gotcha.
That was the other movie that I liked because I knew there was
Watchmen. I think was probably his real benchmark film.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job with it.
Yeah, well, like, one of the things I like about it is that he addressed a lot of things with the source material that people liked, and then he made minor tweaks to things that he particularly as a fan didn't care for.
Yeah.
And, I think that's good directing because he liked the material enough to really go, like, do a good job combing over it and picking the right scenes. Because, if you've ever read Watchmen for anyone, if you've ever read the entire big book of the Watchmen, right?
It's huge. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's so much stuff they could have done. There's so many moments you can pick from, and it's really hard to, like, get a good feel for it. But he did it great. I think one of my favorite parts about the Watchmen is how they start off with in the what's his name's house apartment. What
a comedian.
Comedian, yeah.
It's
just and the way they direct the camera through the room.
Cinematically, that movie's very, very good and takes a lot of style notes from the comic book. It is very emulated of it. Sure, there's no giant interdimensional tentacle monster. Instead, it's a giant blast that is basically Dr. Manhattan's power. But I think that's fine. And I as you say, Jane, they picked out the right points. They kind of distilled it down to what the comic book, what the graphic novel was going for, without any of the excess. And the movie doesn't lose focus, and it flows well. So I think they chose their points right. So
I like Watchmen. I know there's a 3.5 hour cut of it.
Yeah, Jesus.
I've actually watched that.
Is it good?
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really endearing though. Like,
sure,
because at some point you're like, oh, okay, and we're gonna cut to this part, and you're kind of like, damn it, are we there yet? If you've seen the theatrical cut, you know where it ends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's just like there's a lot of good in between stuff that it's actually interesting because it's like, wow, he he did such a good job in 3 hours. I'm surprised they didn't just keep that as the theatrical cut. This is a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, I have the actor who played the comedian on my shirt today.
Nice.
Oh, really? Nice.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He plays Negan now, Walking Dead, and I have a shirt that says Negan Sluggers on me right now. But yeah, so Watchmen's a great film, and 300 is a great film. Sucker Punch is a great film to look at.
I like it, but yeah, you're right.
And I think the general
improvement.
And I think the general consensus though is that Snyder's a pretty awesome director in in many ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is. But again, I don't like what he did with Superman and Batman vs Superman did bug me with a lot of stuff. There is a good movie in there. It's just
muddled.
Things got lost in the fray. But besides all that, I mean, hate what he has done or love it. Mm-hmm. This is a bad thing for him to go through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a horrible thing to go through.
Yeah.
Because I think she was only 20.
God. That's young. That's too young.
Yeah, that's too young. So, but yeah, so that's one bit of news. It sucks. This is old news. It happened I think last week, or I wanted to talk about it last week on the podcast, and it didn't. But yeah, and the interesting thing is, Josh Whedon is kind of stepping in to fill the role,
right?
And he's doing in there, he's not changing the style because he can't because it's kind of too late. Mm-hmm. But he's in there to finish stuff, and I don't know if he's going to do part 2. Hell, I don't know if Affleck's going to stay on for part 2 at this point.
I'd hope so, because if not, they're kind of boned.
Well, just give him the fucking director's seat for Batman.
I know, right?
That's all you have to. Yeah, that's all you have to do. I don't know why they're being asshats, but. So Josh Whedon's doing that, and he's also going to be directing Batgirl.
Okay.
Which is coming out, I want to say next year. I have no idea who's playing Batgirl or anything else. And hell, I don't think they cast a Poison Ivy or a Selena Kyle for Gotham Sirens, and it's coming out next February.
Oh, Jesus.
We're going to get 4 or 5 Batman movies next year. I think I talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you kind of gave us a rundown of what movies to expect.
Yeah, so it's kind of nuts. But, so leading in from that news, which is not so great, into some better news, Wonder Woman seems to be doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's been getting a lot of good praise, which is good. Finally. Fucking finally.
Yeah.
They made a good movie.
Yeah.
God! There was a lot of butthole clenching of let it be good, please let it be good. All it has to do is be good, and then hopefully they go and look at it and go, yes, this did well because of these things. Let's try and take some of those things and run with it for the rest of our movies. Because God only knows they need fucking help.
Yeah. From what I know, it's probably going to be the first successful female superhero movie, because there's been others that have not done well.
Have there been other Wonder Woman movies? Or
no, I mean other female superhero movies.
There was an Elektra movie.
There was an Elektra movie, and then there was a Catwoman movie.
Yeah.
Man, there are reasons why I'm like, what other superhero female movies have there been? Oh, right,
and
they're just straight bad. Yeah.
And Supergirl.
Yeah, they just have been straight awful. Okay,
yeah.
That's why I don't remember.
Well, I mean, Supergirl was a much older film, so
sure.
I'm gonna.
Regardless,
I mean, I'm gonna give it
there.
a little bit of a push, a more of a fair point. The more recent ones, Elektra was kind of hot garbage.
I mean, to be fair, that fucking Daredevil was also hot garbage. So
yeah,
just beget something else.
You know what's really weird? I liked the first Daredevil, and then I rewatched it a few years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I was just kind of really like Ben Affleck. Want to rip my eyes out because I'm watching this movie. You know what? Every time someone says Daredevil movie, I think of that one part where Bullseye goes, Bullseye, get it?
God, yeah, that was fucking hot garbage.
Yep.
Yeah, big time hot garbage.
But this is a real big win because Wonder Woman is being successful.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a picture. I cannot find it right now. I would love to share it with you guys. But it's a picture of Wonder Woman. She's got Batman slung over her shoulder, and she's got Superman kind of like tucked under one arm. And Batman over Batman's head is Batman versus Superman, or Superman versus Batman, whatever the fuck it's called. Mm-hmm. And then over Superman is Man of Steel logo.
Yeah.
And then there's bones and rocks everywhere, and underneath her feet is Suicide Squad. And then there's a civilian being like all scared, and over that person's head it's Marvel Studios. And then Wonder Woman saying, "It's okay, I got this."
That's classic.
That's clever.
Yeah, it is just some quick Photoshop, and so. Yeah. If I could find it, I'll post it to the page. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it. It looks. I mean, they did everything right, and Chris Pratt is not overwhelming anything. Not Chris Pratt. Pine.
Yeah.
He's not overwhelming anything in it. He's actually kind of in awe of Wonder Woman from everything I've read. So
yeah, that's a personality that could have accidentally stolen the movie.
Yeah, well, I think Pine does really well. Like him and Zachary Quinto in the Star Trek, they play pretty well. So does though she doesn't. They don't have a whole lot of scenes. Zoe Saldana, who plays Uhura, but he plays well with everyone there. At the same time, he holds his own with Denzel Washington in Unstoppable.
Yeah,
which helps him, I think. So if you have never seen Unstoppable, watch Unstoppable. Just a slight recommendation there.
Yeah.
Good film. But yeah, so Wonder Woman's doing pretty good, but apparently there's controversy.
I mean, like I'd like to say I didn't see it coming, but I mean, like, I don't know, or for whatever reason, our world these days is wrapped up in controversy.
True. Did you hear what Did you hear what the controversy is?
Can I take a guess?
The one that I'm talking about.
Was it the dude who got a ticket to an all-women showing of Wonder Woman?
I didn't see that, but it is the all-woman showing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's Alamo Drafthouse in Austin is doing one. Everyone got pissed off as tweeting at Alamo Drafthouse. Alamo Drafthouse New York said, "Yeah, that is encourageable. We're having one too." Which is kind of a great.
That's amazing.
Kind of a great fuck you.
Cool. Good for them.
Yeah, but at the same time, someone said, well, what if there's an all-male showing for Thor? There almost always is an all-male showing for Thor. It's Thor.
It also, like, not to intentionally stereotype the demographics. There typically, for most nerd cultures, there is a larger male majority than there is a female majority. It's not to say that there aren't women who are part of the, like, any nerddom, but there is typically seen a larger portion of male to female ratio. Yeah. So, like, to say that, what if there is an all male showing, when it's like, well, there already kind of was a larger male demographic there anyway, so
yeah,
whatever.
I am one of those males. I am in the theater. It's there, there's no problem seeing it, so also, I don't care that they're doing this. People bitching at it is just kind of it's the exact reason why they're doing it.
I think it's the same reason why people are bitching. Something very cool. I think that's very awesome of them.
Yeah.
That like, to be like, hey, these women get to see it first before anybody else. Awesome. Congrats to them. Like, that was something very cool. I mean, apparently, the thing I was talking about is some dude bought a ticket to it and was kind of bitching at the storm on Twitter.
Oh, fuck him.
About that. They can't tell me I can't go because I bought this ticket. Like,
they can refund it. Yeah. You can either get your money back and go to a showing that will have everyone see it.
Yeah.
Or, own up to it and say, "Oh, I fucked up." But they fucked up. It's a mutual fuck up.
Yeah.
Give me my money back and I'll see another showing. Mm-hmm. That's all you have to do. And no, he wants to be the dickhead on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing too, that an all women showing, right, is probably the healthiest thing for a superhero movie.
Yeah,
because it expands the fan base.
Sure, yeah, definitely.
It does so much other things that, like, and on top of it, it's just good marketing. Like, Like what? Like what? You guys? Oh, Wonder Woman is totally for the dudes. Wonder Woman comes from fucking Amazons. She doesn't have a dad. Like she was created by a god to fight other people.
Well, let's also be fair on this one. If say they had done. I mean, they did the all women showing, but say basically these women walked away going, well, Wonder Woman is just sexed up. She totally don't feel empowered as a woman. God, it would have cut that movie to ribbons. So, like, good PR or bad PR, it was coming out one way or another.
Yeah.
But you want to what? I'd rather have that happen because at least that's the honest truth.
God, seriously, cut straight to the bone, no holds bar, and it worked out for them. Things worked out. It was good. People were happy. Like, it's a win.
I'm also very happy for Gal Gadot.
Yeah,
Gal Gadot.
Gadot.
She's not
right.
Gadot. She's not French.
Okay, is because she got so much flack 3 years ago when they announced her casting. For like, they were like, "Oh, she's not going to be buff enough. She doesn't really fit our picture of Wonder Woman." And it's like,
for me, it was height. It was a height thing.
Yeah, height too. But like,
yeah, they can adjust that.
But if she lived the character, if she made us feel like she really was Wonder Woman, then she did the job.
Yeah, you'll bypass. You'll look past the minor shit, and that, like, a lot of that is kind of minor garbage, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and she seemed to embody the character, and for that she did the role justice. So, you know, I think they cast the right person for the role, which is good.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people forget something very important about casting actors. They're not all like Robert Downey Jr. They're not that one special gem that fits that role.
Oh, you mean he doesn't need to change? Like, the person doesn't need to change much to fit the role.
Well, like, people forget, Chris Evans was doing a lot of really dumb teen comedies and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Way before he landed the Captain America gig.
Yeah, he played a lot of stupid meathead kind of characters. Fucking fire, Human Torch.
Yeah, but even like
I hated him as that.
Even before that, though, like, you ever see Not Another Teen Movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
avoided it.
That was actually one of his big films, right? And what do you get away for that? He played, obviously, it was a comedy, but he played a big meathead. And everyone remembers him in that movie because he stuck a banana in his ass.
Yeah.
Like, not great PR.
Okay, that was him?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's Captain America.
I've seen the clips, so... Yeah, I mean, the August are somewhere.
No, but like, if you saw him then, and then you're like, oh, he could never be Captain America. He doesn't fit the mold. It's acting. They have to become the character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, something I want to go back to with Wonder Woman. What you guys were touching on, like, you know, it could have easily been ruined and not shown the character. It could have been sexed up, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of, in a weird roundabout way, a bit of a tangent, ropes into it. So, back in 1954... maybe you guys have heard of this, and I probably talked about it before. A psychiatrist, Frederick Wertham, wrote a book called Seduction of the Innocent. And it was basically warning about comic books, about juveniles reading comic books.
Okay.
And this is where the Comics Code came in and everything else. And he said something like Wonder Woman was like... she was not being a ladylike, and she was saying something to the fact that she was like man bashing, or, you know, she wasn't being ladylike and needed to spend more time with Treasure to be a lady. Oh yeah, here it is. Warham's claim that Wonder Woman had a bondage subtext was somewhat better documented as her creator William Moulton Marston had admitted. William Moulton Marston had admitted as much. However, William also claimed Wonder Woman's strength and independence made her a lesbian. The doctor said that. He claims that her independence made her a lesbian, and that she had a bondage subtext. And Batman and Robin were gay partners, things like that.
Well, then.
Yeah, this was published in 1954, and it's all it was all a bunch of garbage. And on some level, like, we're sort of still dealing with that, because at the same time, like, Wonder Woman could have easily become a dumbass damsel in distress.
Oh yeah. There's plenty of like unfortunate opportunities for that.
Trevor could have come in and saved her and all that shit. Right. Though I have a feeling that this will end kind of like Captain America, because it's in World War One. So, yeah, who knows? She will never see Trevor again. That's for damn sure. Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing it now since some of the reviews have come in and they're pretty good.
It's definitely one I would like to go watch.
Yeah, same.
Looks like it'd be fun.
Yeah. So, I have not paid to see a DC movie.
I've not been excited to see a DC movie unless it was animated.
True. Yeah. I have not paid to go see one. It's mostly been on TV. Saw Man of Steel on TV. Saw Batman vs Superman on TV. Saw Suicide Squad on TV.
I think the last probably DC movie I saw in theaters was the last
Batman.
Yeah, Batman movie. Last Nolan movie. So
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Rises. Dark Knight Rises.
Thank you. Yeah. That was probably the last one I saw in theater. I was like, this movie's okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. It wasn't awful, but didn't leave a resounding impression on me.
No, we won't get into that shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go off on that. Yeah. But yeah, that's the stupid controversy of Wonder Woman, and it's unneeded.
It is. It really is.
Well, it is and isn't. It's like, oh, hey, great, free publicity.
Yeah.
Can't talk today. It's free publicity, but at the same time, it's like...
Didn't need to go this way.
No, didn't need to go that way. It's like... I see pictures of protests, like all the Women's March and all that shit, and it's like, there's like some older woman there holding a sign that says, it's 2017, I still can't believe I have to protest this shit.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that.
It's in that vein, I guess.
I would agree.
I left this comment on our friend's status. Again, side tangent. Some people are claiming that the new Star Trek is promoting white male genocide, and because it's got an African American first officer and a Chinese captain, and they're both women, God forbid, and all this other bullshit. And I'm like, you fucking serious? So I looked up, when did the original Star Trek take place? 2364, so minus 10 years. So I wrote on their status, it's 2354, I still can't believe we have to protest about this shit.
Damn.
Because it's true.
It's true.
I mean, that's like, and everyone that was commenting was saying, did you watch the show?
Yeah, seriously.
Because that's what the original show's about. It's about unity and equality and, like, no one giving a shit. Humanity coming together. Stupid white male. Okay, moving on. Oh, great. Yeah, we're going to talk about that controversy.
Oh. The next one.
I was wanting to move away from white men getting pissed off.
Can I take the lead on this one?
Yeah, go ahead. Far Cry 5.
Okay, Far Cry 5.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Well, so I wanted to talk about this because I saw a very interesting video. I can't remember all the numbers, but Boogie from YouTube, the big guy, does the Francis videos.
Yeah, Boogie 299 or something like that, yeah.
So, he was talking about it, right? And he usually gives a pretty balanced opinion on things.
Yeah, I like his videos. He's pretty smart when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah, and so he was like, okay, everyone's upset because their interpretation is we're killing, red-blooded Americans, Southern folk, Christians, right?
Sure.
That's what everyone gathered from the video. But then if you read anything Ubisoft's released recently on the subject, that they're like...
Is it Ubisoft or Ubisoft?
Ubisoft.
Sometimes some people probably pronounce it Ubi. I don't know.
Okay.
I think he did. Either way, the guys who made Assassin's Creed, right? That's everyone knows him as. He goes, they released a statement. They're like, it's not Christians. This is radical extremists who are basically homegrown terrorists. Right?
Yeah.
And that's easy to get. It's a cult. These aren't Christians.
Yeah, it's religion taking the wrong turn.
Exactly. And of course, also someone pointed out, if you played Assassin's Creed, you were killing Christians.
Yeah,
Sure.
you were fighting the Templars in the very first game, which was part of the Christians' crusade.
Right? So anyways, that's the game, and a lot of people have been really pissed off about that. And then, of course, the next argument is, we're killing Americans. It's like, no, they're terrorists. It's a cult. I mean, yeah, they can come from America, but that's not the problem here. It's that they're taking over a town. Are you guys not paying attention to the trailer?
Yeah.
A cult's a cult, and terrorists are terrorists, no matter what country they come from. Anything they do that causes fear or harm to anybody really can be considered a terrorist act, no matter if they're American or other.
Really quick,
we have terrorists in our backyard. They wear white hoods and they're called the KKK.
I saw something interesting about that statement, though, right?
Yeah.
Because this is a make-believe group, right?
Sure.
Because obviously they don't want to get sued by anyone.
Sure, exactly, yeah.
That's why it's not really the West Baptist Church, and this is why it's not the KKK, even though they shouldn't have rights. Just saying. Well, one of the things was people who lean left, right?
Yeah.
All right. They actually put up their own form of outrage, where a lot of people were like, "Man, I was so interested in this game until I found out that it's not an alt-right killing simulator." And I was like,
"Oh my God!"
I was like, "Okay, guys, we need to keep political views out of this because this is how we start fights."
So the problem with that, Shane, is unfortunately the group that you're going after in Far Cry 5 unfortunately has connotations to political views. So
I get
it's
that.
hard not to bring it in. I do understand your feeling though about it. That's just like we don't need this, guys. This is a game. This is fictional.
Yeah.
Or not.
Well, the other thing. The other thing is this game had probably been in the works for at least 2 to 3 years.
Oh yeah.
So way before alt-right, way before Trump, way before any of this crap.
Yeah.
So that's item 1 about it. Item 2 is this is kind of like people getting ticked off at Trump for grabbing, I don't know who he was, that prime minister or the other world leader.
Oh, yeah, and shoving him.
Kind of and shoving him out of the way and doing this flexing like he's like, he's a pompous ass, which he is.
Yeah.
But like doing that, like you're getting mad at him for that. Like that outrageous. You shouldn't be. That's like fine, he's a jerk, whatever. That's not why you should be mad at him. Right. There's a plenty of other reasons, legit reasons why you should be mad at him. At the same time, you don't fighting fire with fire is one thing, but just like coming right out and saying like, oh, we should, I wish this was an all right killer simulator, some bullshit like that. God. You basically are just walking the same fucking line that they are.
Yeah, it's such the wrong. It's the wrong message. It's not what you want. Like if you want have your views be taken seriously, don't say shit like that. Let the other group do that and be like, see, this is why we get frustrated with them. Don't counter it, but with the same garbage.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like why I didn't really agree that one dude who's like the leader of the alt-right getting punched.
Sure.
Because a person like that is just begging to sue someone.
Yeah. It also kind of makes them a martyr.
Yeah, it makes them a martyr. There's a lot of people that are on their side that'll write articles about it and say lock them up, blah, blah, blah. It works. It only works in their favor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fair
to me.
Look at it, but I'll just say this right now. I laughed at every meme made out of that video.
Sure.
Yeah,
of him getting socked.
Sure.
It was...
But speaking of someone who's been in a fair amount of fights, there's really nothing you get out of it. And in a physical fight like that. You don't really benefit. You don't benefit them. You don't benefit yourself. You can lie and say you benefited yourself, but it just doesn't pan out the way you think, and that's not how you fight them. You fight them by going after other things that, in hindsight, would also probably benefit them.
Also, just throwing this out there, Mafia 3 took place in the 1950s, southern states, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you fight some KKK guys there, so... 60s?
Yeah, you kill... Yeah, it's the 60s because the main character is a Vietnam vet.
Yeah, so go ahead and play that one. if you really need to scratch an itch. One other thing, really quick, I found out from a coworker. Because I was like, I'm kind of trying to figure out what's going on with the plot, right?
Sure.
So apparently the main character is actually a Texas Marshal. Or Texas Marshal, a U.S. Marshal.
Or sheriff, whatever the hell they
from what I heard, it was a sheriff's deputy, and I think you can customize everything about it.
Yeah, you get to play kind of the character you want to play as.
Well, so it's interesting, though. Well, sorry. The thing is, apparently the plot is the U.S. Marshals or whoever know the town's been taken over, but they haven't been given the go-ahead to do anything. And your character's like, fuck it, I'm helping these people because they're suffering.
Right.
So you're actually fighting the terrorists and the U.S. Marshals.
Well, all right.
So so that already, like, I was like, wow, if I knew that information going into the trailer, that completely changes the landscape of this game.
Yeah.
Now knowing that my enemy isn't just, this crazy cult, which still is a really cool enemy in my opinion. It's original.
Especially when you're looking at, because like we don't really see that much set in an American setting.
Yeah,
it's pretty unique. Pretty unique getting it in an American setting. So it's very bold. It's definitely bold by Ubisoft, and I think that's cool. I like it.
But now you're also fighting like law officers in that kind of chaotic scenario.
Yeah,
and that's just like, wow, that's so far from anything I've ever think I've experienced. Like, I actually might pick this game up just because of that. Yeah. And I've never played a Farcry.
You're playing a law officer who's fighting against terrorists, who's also fighting against federal law who aren't doing anything. So that is kind of neat.
Yeah,
and you can make them any sex and race that you want.
That's awesome.
Yeah. From what I've heard, don't quote me on that fully. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll definitely find out. Yeah, we'll definitely find out more like in 2 weeks.
Right.
With E3.
With E3, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be interesting when it comes around. But yeah, the controversy is just really no one should respond to the controversy. People are, which is stupid. Yes. And you should just kind of let it burn out and let them give all the publicity that they want to Ubisoft. Yeah. Because that's, it only works in their favor. And again, it is ironic that the current climate has this kind of game coming out. But this game was going to come out even if Hillary won.
Oh, yeah.
This game was going to come out even if our boy won, which is Bernie.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
I mean, it's a game. They probably came up with the idea, and I mean, I don't hold anything against them because you can't make a game that quick, people. No matter how much you want to.
No, you can't. Yeah. I think inspired them was, you remember those yokels that took over that park ranger shack or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? And I forget, it was a couple of years ago. Yeah, it was bullshit what happened. But I think that's kind of inspired this game a little bit, more than likely. Or any other cult in America that happened.
If they were still developing the game even before that, I wouldn't be surprised to see a nod at that in the game.
Yeah. If we're just talking about the game for a second, every Ubisoft game, Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, and even some of the Ghost Recon games, had this thing where in Assassin's Creed, it's towers, jump points, where you can do the leap of faith. And in Far Cry, it was radio towers.
Right.
I'm kind of wondering, because that's basically how you got more pictures of the land. I'm kind of wondering if they'll do that for this game, or if it'll be something else entirely.
Number stations. There we go. Bringing number stations, bringing the conspiracy element to it as well.
Number stations?
Yeah, number stations. They're a real thing. They're set on a specific frequency on the radio that they just read off a set of numbers that are kind of nonsensical, but they're supposed to have a message behind it. And there's a lot of conspiracies behind what number stations are.
Okay.
So if we're in like bumfuck nowhere, Montana, Like, you could do that where it's like, oh, the number stations are really just giving out geographical markers that allow your character to kind of get a full lay of the land and where things are. You know, maybe it's the cultists are using it as a way to communicate where, you know, supply lines are and shit. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of just like a throw out there that'd be clever.
If I had to do it, I'd either do silos or water towers.
Yeah, but they're I mean that can work, but at the same time, like, those have a fun. The Far Cry, the Assassin's Creed had a function because it gave this awesome view and this nice panorama thing because you're this awesome acrobat, and Far Cry it worked because you're basically hot wiring and fixing a radio tower.
Yeah. To
work for you. But in this, for a silo, that's not a silo's purpose, and that's not a water tower's purpose.
Well, I mean, if they're being repurposed as something else, it
maybe.
Sense.
Well, we'll have to see.
Right. And so that's why, like, the first thing that came to mind was, you know, as goofy as it may sound, a number station, because it is very weird. They're very odd things.
Yeah, or at the same time, it could be something totally different. It could be that there's nothing you take over, and you have to do it yourself to help the law enforce the federal marshals. Who knows?
Maybe as you take over, you know, different areas controlled by this cult, you get more. You basically find maps of the area that allow you to have knowledge of the area. So
that's the other thing. They're probably not going to have outposts like they did in like Far Cry 3 and 4.
Right.
Because, like, you know, they are and they aren't a military installation. So like, why have this outpost? It's a supply depot for a country. Yeah. You know. It'll probably be mechanic shops and sorry, that was something else. It'll probably be like mechanic shops or fucking bars. Apparently, there is gonna be diner. There is gonna be a bar in the game called Spread Eagle. That much I know.
That's actually pretty great.
It's awesome.
If you remember the trailer, the girl in it, I think she's like blonde.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She, I think, runs the bar.
Okay.
I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. Apparently, she like lost a family member to this order, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But cool. It sucks. This game's not going to come out this year.
No, it's what's scheduled for next year.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah.
It won't. I don't think it'll compete with Red Dead that's coming out next spring.
Well, I mean, in a bigger way, it's not going to compete with Red Dead because it's just going to have a very different feel overall.
Yeah, I mean, if they're both coming out, I'd probably think about getting both of them if I can. Maybe space them out.
Yeah.
Because they're both big open world games, but yeah.
And they play differently enough, which is good.
Yeah. One's an FPS and the other is third person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that'll be really good. It won't feel like you're playing the same game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, two controversies that are not controversies in our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just dumb.
Controversies because people want them to be controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Very true.
So the other thing I wanted to... there's two more things I wanted to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to wrap up soon because it's midnight where Shane is right
it's
now.
getting late for him.
So, Neil Blomkamp, who I like as a filmmaker, he has been... I think he's been silent for a little while. I haven't heard anything from what he's doing. And apparently he's going to come out... He's got this new project to come out. It's Oat Studios Volume 1?
Yes.
And it's like lizard men have invaded Earth and have taken over, and there's a resistance, and there's also like a zombie element to something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw it. It definitely feels like his work.
Yep.
And I'm all for it, but I found interesting that this is not going to be in the theaters. It's going to be streamed somewhere.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So... I don't know when we'll see more, but it definitely looked interesting. And the lizard men, the aliens, they look really interesting. Even though they're lizards, they look real and they don't look phony. You could easily
creepy.
Fuck up. Yeah, I mean, you could easily fuck up lizard aliens. You can make this thing look campy as shit. Look up the original photos of Predator.
Oh boy.
before they made it into the dreadlock-loving mandible thing that we all know and love.
Yeah.
Look up that Predator and tell me you don't see campy as shit. Star Trek did it better.
Oh God!
Because it's a mess, and it could have easily gone that way, and it didn't.
They kind of remind me of the Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park a little bit, and they're kind of like head shaped. It kind of has like cobra like, but it has this kind of like frill that seems to move, and they make these clucking, tripping noises.
Yeah, I want to say that frill, the back of them, I want to say that puffs out.
I would not be surprised if it did.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know any characters about it. I don't know when it takes place. I don't know what it's gonna echo like. Because most of Blomkamp's stuff is kind of a big overarching. What's the word I'm looking for? Metaphor.
Yeah.
Analogy for something else that happened. Allegory. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like District 9's about the apartheid.
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that. Elysium is about class and race and all that shit. So, I forget what Chappie's about.
I also can't remember what Chappie's about. Kind of unfortunate.
Chappie's the one movie that surprised the hell out of me with its ending. Like, I mean, I'll give it up to them for that.
Yeah.
Chappie was really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chappie was awesome, and it surprised the hell out of me, especially that ending. Holy shit.
Definitely.
Yeah. But, have no idea anything more about Neil Blomkamp.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll definitely keep an eye on this shit. So.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see. Maybe it may also just be a series of different movies, or different shorts compiled to cover the course of one overarching story. Potentially different perspectives of one larger event. Should be cool.
So it'll be very cool to go off. I like that idea.
Yeah.
To go off of that and to talk about something real quick before we get into the other thing, the last thing.
Yeah.
So I've seen Cloverfield. I like Cloverfield.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah. This.
I don't care for shaky cam, but I like it. Yeah. I have not seen 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I hear it's very good. I need to watch it.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, there's going to be 2 more coming out.
Right. They've announced the name of at least one of them.
Yeah, I can't recall what it is.
The God Particle.
I want to say it's God. Yeah, thank you, God Particle.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the name of one of them, and apparently there's going to be another one after that. But the thing I like about it is they're all secularly related.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I like that we have Marvel that's doing all this stuff where it's interchangeable, and like, okay, these guys are these guys, and it's very, they're all kind of coming together for this.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this other thing where it's like, this is happening over here, this creature's attacking New York, this guy's a nutcase here in the middle of nowhere, and he's trying to help or not trying to help.
Yeah.
And then this other thing is happening. And they're all going to be related somehow. I like that.
Yeah. They're not, and clearly not directly related to or at least it's shown that they're not really directly related. So it's interesting. I really think it is a cool thing where it's like you develop one large world and then you can set just about any story you would like into it and have some correlations to your other stories you've created. Yeah,
so I like that idea, and if Blomkamp is doing that with this, great. I mean, that'd be very cool.
Yeah. We'll find out more as we get more information out. It's something for sure. I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye out for that. Yeah. The last thing I like to talk about.
It's the one you're the most kind of unenthusiastic about for what they're doing.
So we got a lot of reboots and rehashes and remakes and all this other shit. But apparently, because it's gained a hell of a lot of popularity on Netflix, they're gonna reboot Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest, I haven't read anything else beyond that, but I don't like it.
I don't know how to feel about it. And that's probably not good. That probably means I'm very hesitant towards it.
Yeah, well, Animaniacs is very pop culture. It's very 90s pop culture.
Yeah.
Because of everything they reference in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very 90s Hollywood because of everything they reference in it.
Yeah.
Because that's when it was made, of course. But, like, there's the other thing of, like, I really don't want Yakko Wacko and Dot to make jokes about Apple and iPhones and Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear that.
I feel there's kind of a generational gap.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it goes back to the thing of, like, you liked that show when you were a kid, and you were a kid. Let those memories stay with you. Mm-hmm. It'll be fine. Don't revisit it.
Yeah.
You know, I got lucky when I watched Land Before Time recently.
Mm-hmm.
Because it held up. And it held up also because it's like, I know how they do that shit. Right. So it was like extra special. But that's because it's Don Bluth at his best. You know? It's an animation at its best. So it holds up. That's a true classic. But I am not going to go back and watch Pinky and the Brain or I'm trying to think of the other shows I used to watch as a kid because they won't hold up. That's the problem. I'm not 10.
Yeah, I'm
going to be 30 in like less than a week. 31.
I would have to I'd have to hear them do like a live read of an episode.
Yeah.
Because, you know, as you said, Nick, like there was a lot of context for the 90s. Like there wasn't a whole lot of like negative shit going on. Or if it was like kind of kept off to the side. It wasn't like full blown in your face. Everything feels like it's burning. Whereas like right now, you fucking can't say anything without triggering some jackass. Like you open your it's a world of walking on eggshells. It's such a miserable state.
The president mistweets a word and suddenly everyone's talking about the next word.
Yeah,
it's like,
oh boy.
Seriously, that's what you want to all be talking about? There's other things to talk about.
There are way more interesting things in life to talk about.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's like the Animaniacs, let them stay in the 90s. They're good there. If you like watching them, kudos to you. Keep watching them on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't see a point to reboot it.
Everything right now feels like a live hand grenade. Where it's just like if you pull the pin, it may blow up in your face because the timer delays on it is incorrect.
Yeah,
it is one of those like if they can make it work, good for them. But I have the pessimist in me is just like I don't think this will have the same impact or feeling as it once upon a time did.
Yeah, same here.
But we'll see how that goes. Shane, I guess what's your feeling on it, mate?
I just quickly looked into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
there's no news except it's been like yeah sure why not.
Well, so here's how I look at it. There are so many things that from my childhood of watching cartoons that I would like to stay there.
Yeah.
So go ahead, stay there if they don't ever want to touch it. On the flip side, if they're gonna try and bring Animaniacs back, at least I hope it's not trying to bank off of like nostalgia.
Right.
Like for instance,
that's the other way they can fail.
Yeah, like for instance, if they're gonna make Animaniacs and they're gonna make it only so that people our generation are gonna watch, it's like, well that's no fun. I'll go watch the original.
Right, there's no point in doing that.
If they were gonna remake it, what they really honestly should do is it's the way you keep Mickey Mouse relevant. You play inside their world. You don't bring them to this time. You take elements and celebrities from our time and put them there.
Oh my god, I wish you guys could see me.
Okay.
I was waving my hands.
Oh.
Because I just thought of something.
What?
The Looney Tunes reboot.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Where they were all living in a house like it was fucking real world?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that.
It's
exactly that.
Such a weird thing.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is exactly that. And they texted each other in that film.
Yeah.
In that show.
Yeah, it was really weird. It just didn't seem like it worked right.
I'm fine with, if you want to make Looney Tunes a thing again, fine.
Mm-hmm.
But let's have the anvils and the hammers and the dynamite and the blinking eyes and Wile E. Coyote falling off cliff with the whistle. Like, just rehash that. Like, go back to what it was. Don't make them live in a fucking neighborhood and make Daffy and Bugs a goddamn odd couple.
Well,
it just doesn't work.
Honestly,
You're right, Shane. Keep them in their world.
If this goes back to like Animaniacs, right?
Yeah.
For instance, you remember how they kept Looney Tunes really relevant in the 90s? Is because they did Tiny Toons.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, the Looney Tunes teach a school, and so they're teaching the next generation of Looney Tunes, right?
Right.
And that was like seamless because it's, for instance, like Porky Pig sitting there and he's talking to like this other pig character. He goes, okay, so what's going to happen is he's going to hit you with this chair. And he goes, well, that's going to hurt. He goes, no, it's a fake chair. It's going to break.
Uh-huh.
And, he explains the setup. And that was funny. And
the episode is playing in my head.
Yeah, and that's fun because, there's this interaction. If you're going to bring the Looney Tunes, the Animaniacs into now, right? Uh-huh. If anything, it should be the same shit that the show was based off of. Warner Brothers has them. They're just running amok, right?
Yeah.
And so, for instance, say, like, if they really want to do it, just the same stupid jokes, like, just bring in, like, Robert Downey Jr. instead of Prince. Yeah. Because nothing the Looney Tunes did, or, sorry, you got me on the wrong track. Nothing the Animaniacs did made sense. It was all just really simple bits and simple pop culture references, bigger ones. They weren't talking about the public. They were talking about specifically famous things that normal people just laugh at.
Yeah.
And so do that, and I think it'll be successful. Or, make it like, don't age them. That's the worst thing they could do.
God, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the problem with the Looney Tunes thing, because they technically try to age it, but they try to make it was like, hip or whatever, and the fact that Bugs is tweeting and he's arguing with Daffy, but not in the way that they should be arguing, is just, it was dumb.
It felt weird.
It felt very, very weird, yeah. Yeah.
You want to know what the best nostalgia thing they could do for Animaniacs, this new one?
What?
Literally go through the first episode of the first series, which was, oh shit, they were locked in the water tower for good reason, and we accidentally let them out.
Oh, so what? They were locked up again?
Yeah, basically they were just they were just hidden somewhere else, right? And then someone just fucking lets them out, and it's like, and basically it's like, well, they're out now, and they, you have a bit with the Warner Brother execs. They're like, well, fuck it. Like,
yeah,
it was so hard to get them in the fucking box the second time.
Yeah,
they could do something like that,
and I would totally be okay with it, and I might actually get a kick out of it because that's a way to pay homage to a really good concept and a really funny opening episode.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. At the same time, like, this isn't like, this is like 3 years down the way.
Yeah, so
because of how long it'll take to animate it. Who knows? I'm not particularly for it.
I will punch a fucking person though if they butcher the designs.
Yeah,
because like their designs were great because they were so simple, but they were you could tell them apart, and at the same time it wasn't like hard to see.
Yeah.
What was it though? I was gonna say something, I completely spaced on it. Ugh, I hate that.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But now I remember what I was gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna be one of those people like railing, saying they killed my childhood or they're killing my childhood, because my childhood's my childhood, and that kid had a good time until he became 14.
Yeah, I've never liked the "I ruined your childhood" thing. It's like, no, you didn't, because you don't have a fucking time machine. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Were you Catholic and an altar boy? No, your childhood was not ruined. Like, be real. Like, okay, because they're making Transformers movies and they suck, doesn't ruin or negate the good time you had with the toys in the cartoon.
To be fair, the first movie is still super cheesy, so.
whatever. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't for me, and I will actually watch the Transformer movies because they're just nice background noise.
Yeah.
They're nice to just like, okay, brain, take it off.
They encapsulate some of the feeling, but then fail at other parts of it.
Yeah.
Really quick, just because I saw a video on this. Do you know why Linkin Park did the music for Transformers?
Was that?
They were all on they were like 50-50 split between the band, and then they were all like, we all like Transformers as kids, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh,
sure.
yeah, let's just do it then, because we all like Transformers.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, I'm not gonna say this is killing my childhood. I'm just saying you can do the Animaniacs, you can just do something entirely else and call it something different with new jokes and modern jokes and pay homage to Looney Tunes and Animaniacs, which Animaniacs was.
Yeah.
Yakko and Wacko were nothing but bugs. It's split personality.
Yeah.
Yakko, especially. Yakko is pretty much Bugs Bunny.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And, you know, they created something as a homage to that. And they could have done that, and they're not doing that. It's like, oh, hey, it's popular on Netflix, let's remake it.
That's not a good defining moment that people want your product again. Just means people like the product that exists.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like people wanting a Friends reunion after 10 or 20 years, however long it's been.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, okay, that'd be fine for them to have, like, a couple of years ago when it hit, like, the 10th anniversary when the show ended. But Jennifer Aniston said that show would never work now.
No.
None of the sitcoms in the 90s would work now.
Oh, God, no. Oh, Jesus.
None of them would have worked because of cell phones and the internet.
Yeah, it's a different beast we're in.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, that's why it won't work. And Animaniacs, I think, is in the same vein.
It's weird because, like, certain things I think are cool if they want to finish the story, like Samurai Jack, right?
Right.
They're trying to finish something.
They try to finish it, and it's also in a totally fantastical fictional world.
Yeah.
So it can work.
Well, the other thing is, like, certain shows, for instance, Hey Arnold, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's supposed to be a movie that kind of ties up loose ends after all these years. And the thing is, though, Hey Arnold's one of those shows where it just, no one knew it ended. It just, they stopped airing it progressively, you know. They stopped making new episodes. Yeah. And that, you know, that's what it is. But for instance, you have to pick and choose, right? If you want to bring something back versus if you don't. And a great example of that, though, is, like, I'm always on the fridge worrying about if they're ever going to try and bring back Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Oh, boy.
That ended.
But there's a real reason I don't want that to happen. Because in the last year of that show, they did, like, a 2-month thing where it was like a marathon of Ed, Edd and Eddy leading up to the movie that ended it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they had, in between every episode, were little videos with the guy who created the show. Yeah. And he was talking about how he created the show and how all those kids are people from his childhood and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so personal, and I was like, if they ever try to bring that back, I'd be pissed because that guy basically gave his everything, and that was him saying goodbye to all of his fans. Like, don't do that afterwards.
Yeah, and it's also how that thing ended. With you find out that how abused Eddie was. I mean, it get dark.
Oh yeah.
You know, you find out how abused Eddie was by his brother. The kids attack his older brother, and then finally accept him. And then he has this epiphany, and this is my theory anyway, that he has this epiphany. Oh, I don't need a scam. I don't need to make money. I don't need to be an asshole.
Yeah.
And that, you know, the three of them, all three of them are finally fully accepted by the cul-de-sac. And to go back and rehash that, and all of a sudden he's an asshole again, it just...
No, it'd be rude.
It would not fit.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, right? Because that's Ed, Edd and Eddy, right? You know what show I'd be totally cool if they wanted to bring back and try to make funny again?
What?
Angry Beavers.
That's another thing where I want it to stay where it is.
I don't know. I liked Angry Beavers. It was funny. It was.
I did too, but I wanted to stay where it is.
I think it was funny for its time. I think it's much of the '90s cartoons were perfect for the era they were in because there was a lot more that could be gotten away with, a lot more adult humor attached to them. I don't think it would fit nowadays. I think there's too much. Needing to be PC, too many people get triggered over anything. It's as I said, it feels like you're walking on eggshells all the time because you feel like anything you fucking say will offend, the mildest thing of a person. So I just, 90s cartoons were great because there wasn't a whole lot of that going on, and I think they live in that zone that they worked for. I don't think they'll work nowadays.
I mean, I do agree with you that people look for reasons to start arguments and fights.
Yeah.
In anything. On the flip side, though, I'm actually happy that cartoons now has progressed to the way it is, where it's not trying to sneak in as many adult jokes. Though, granted, Rocko's Modern Life, best show, my childhood.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll agree with you there on some cases, Shane, but I'll disagree with you there on some cases because I feel like cartoons have just gotten too dumb.
I mean, certain ones.
I think a majority of them have gotten really dumb or really bland.
Well, you've also gotten older.
I know. So there's the grumpy side of me.
Well, like for instance,
the other thing, it's the fact that like the cartoons are made for kids, and if you watch a cartoon for kids, you'll see that it's for kids.
Yeah.
That's the point. Like at the same time, like cartoons that I think did it well as an adult for me to watch that were technically geared towards kids were Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yep.
And I always say, if you watch the first season, at least the first half of that season, it is stupid kid shit. And then halfway through, they just turn. There's a turn in that show where they say, "Oh yeah, we're talking about 100-year war.
Yeah.
We should start getting serious."
I mean,
and like that show did it well, and Gravity Falls did it well.
Yep.
But I think also the other thing is we have adult shows like Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
And we have Rick and Morty, and we had Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which I hated, but we had that shit. We have all these adult
things. Yeah.
Archer.
Yeah, we have all these Archer, all these adult cartoons, all adult animations that we can absorb, so we don't need the bullshit. And at the same time, it's like kids nowadays don't have to take over the TV. You give them the tablet.
Yeah.
They watch Netflix on that, so the adult can watch something else.
Yeah, the growth in technology has definitely changed how things have gone.
Yeah, so you don't really need the adult humor in it. That's the point. That was the point of Bugs Bunny back in the day, and it was the point of Animaniacs.
Yeah.
My dad was laughing at the shit that Yakko and Wacko and Dot were saying, and I was laughing at the stuff that they were doing. That was the difference.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my point I was going to get to was I just like the way that instead of using, more mature humor, trying to sneak things in, instead what they're doing is they're teaching kids how to deal with real world problems with shows like Steven Universe.
Growth in that. Yeah, which I think is
that's
very positive.
I can't say enough praise about Steven Universe just because I watch an episode and I look at it under a microscope and like, wow, they handled this really mature topic in a way that a child could understand, but at the same time, someone my age looks at it and goes, wow, that was something. And also,
I hear MLP does the same thing.
It does.
My Little Pony does the same thing.
It does in the weirdest way, and it's.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it gets the point across, it gets the point across.
Oh yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean that's the problem. Like, Steven Universe and My Little Pony and I think Phineas and Ferb only work on the level that they're at because they're for kids.
Yeah,
and an adult does not have to be there babysitting them to watch it.
Right.
So,
though the number one age
that's the other reason why Animaniacs
watches
can't
Steven
work.
Universe is 20.
What?
I think someone did a statistic, and the average age of the person who watches Steven Universe is people in their 20s because it's all people in generation.
Well, people who I'm 31 and I watched the hell out of Gravity Falls when it was on. I loved that show.
Oh, that show was great.
And at the same time, like, how many adults watch My Little Pony?
A lot.
So, yeah, I mean, there is a thing called BronyCon, and I think the average age there is probably in the 20s.
No, it's a very interesting viewership.
Yeah, so I mean, just because it's for kids doesn't mean you have to be a kid to watch it, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, it's just this like you shouldn't rehash. Shouldn't rehash it.
Don't rehash something because
like
you're trying to make money, if anything.
Right.
It's yeah. But it's also like I know people like this who you're watching a movie with it, and something happens that's funny or amazing or whatever, and they literally repeat what just happened.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of how I feel that this Animaniacs is.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I can definitely go that direction.
So not happy about it.
It'll be a real shame if it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on it.
Definitely.
And hopefully some more news comes our way. We'll probably be talking a lot of E3 next week.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen? We're going to sign off, and then literally we're all going to look, and there's going to be like this huge announcement that just happened.
I mean, this is how it works for us.
That's always how it works.
All right, I think this is a good point to stop it.
I would agree.
Yeah, we're out.
All right. Thank you for listening. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on iTunes. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, please do that.
You should be on YouTube. It is 2017. Okay, we're out. Later.
Deuces.
Later days.